Hello, children. This is Grandma's Angels coming to you again with another new message. Last week I spoke about foster children and the things that go on in a child's life, being shuffled from home to family. And I said that there was more to be said on this topic, and there is so much to be said on this topic. So today I want to talk about aging out. It's something we don't hear very much about, but it's very much going on in our country. So the foster care system, it is a good system if it runs right, but there's many things that are not running right in the foster care system, and aging out is one of them. By the time a child reaches the age of 18 and the government and the state shuts the door on them, sends them on their way with basically the clothes on their back, they are now considered an adult. Now, if any of us can remember back when we were 18, we didn't feel like an adult when we went out into the world. We still had a lot to learn. So do these foster children, but they don't have a support system. So I want to talk about the things that they are going through and how they can get help. So that's my issue today. All right. So first, I want to talk about what happens primarily to the 18-year-old that gets shoved out the door from the system, and now they're on their own. They're considered an adult, but they have no home to go to, no place. Anyway, so here it is. They don't know where to go for services, okay, because not always is the information given to them. A lot of them live in poverty and become homeless, and I've seen many of them in this situation. Sometimes they fail in education because nobody really cares. They're just shuffled along from home to home, and nobody's following their progress or anything. And imagine being taken from school to school, trying to start over and over and over again when you're 7, 9, 10, 15 years old, 16 years old. It's not an easy life for you foster children, and I know that. When you do get aged out, you have to find employment and maintain employment, not go from job to job, but you have to know how to fill out an application, how to do it online these days. And if you're not taught that during the years that you're in the foster system, how are you supposed to know what to do? Anyway, some of you might become institutionalized, which means you're dependent on your social services. You're dependent on these group homes where you can go and talk and listen to others. You're dependent on foster families, but all of that goes away when you turn 18. All those opportunities and things while you were growing up, all of those things are gone to you now. Once you turn 18 on your 18th birthday, that's your 18th birthday present for you. Not a very fun one. So you have no support system. These are the foster children I'm talking to that do not have a support system. And there's many of them out there. But the ones of you that do have a support system, that you've had good experiences in good foster homes, once again, I'm so happy for you. But my episodes are meant to help those that did not have the opportunities or have the blessings that you had in your growing up years. Nobody really connected with them or cared to. They were just shuffled along and considered another mouth to feed. So these are the children that end up homeless and not knowing what to do, where to go to get help or get support, or where their next night is they're going to sleep. So these are the children that I'm talking to, and I'm talking about aging out of the system. Okay, so many of the results for having no support system once they turn 18, many of them end up in human trafficking because they don't know any better. Anybody that's friendly to them, they'll latch on to them. Drug dealers pretend friendliness until you're hooked. Prostitution, homelessness, couch surfing, meaning that somebody might befriend you and let you stay at their place a few nights, but that's it, and now you've got to find another place to go to. And that's something that you're used to in your childhood. So that can develop trust issues. And so with that, I want to show you some of the things that are out there for you children, so that when you age out, you know places to go. But this one here, I want to talk about, and I put the number right here, National CASA, and that is while you're in the system. A CASA is a volunteer who is appointed by a judge to watch over and advocate for abused and neglected children while in the foster system. You commit to being with a foster child from the time they enter the foster care system until they either reunified with their birth family, their birth parents, they get adopted, or they age out. Okay, so a CASA volunteer is very, very important and very needed in this country. There's such a shortage of people. Now, there's many adults that can't take a child into their home for one reason or another. Maybe they're busy working and they've got other things in their life that are a priority. But you can make time to be a CASA volunteer. And what they do, you become the voice of the child. Please help the child that is being neglected, overlooked, or abused. The CASA volunteer, they stay in connection with the social services, with the judge, with the foster home, with the biological parents, and most especially with the child. But your priority is with the child. You find out what kind of living condition is the child living in? Are they being neglected? Are they being cared for? Are they being hurt emotionally or physically? And you help be a voice for that child at the social service meetings, at the court hearings, at the schools. You can be a voice for that child. And you're somebody that will stay with that child from the very beginning of them entering the foster system to the time they either get adopted, go back to the natural parents, or they age out. Either way, you're a constant, consistent person for them. You may get 1, 2, or 3 children within your time, but how important you will be to that child. You will make a world of difference. There are children out there that are not feeling loved, not feeling needed, not feeling wanted, just they're a paycheck to the family. That's not what this is meant to be. And a CASA volunteer can make all the difference in the world to a little child in need. And then also a CASA volunteer can help when a child ages out of the system. Sometimes they can ask for an extension and get an extra year in the system to the age of 19, but most of them age out at 18 and they have no place to go. If the biological parents have severed ties with them and don't want them back, which happens often, if these things happen and they have no true foster parent that has been kind and caring to them along their journey of childhood, they have no place. They have nobody to turn to. But if they have a CASA volunteer in their corner, they have someone to turn to. They have someone to help them, give them advice, take them in for a little while. Whatever it is that you need to do to help that child be successful in this life. And that's the whole point of this. Okay, so I'm going to give you aging out children some options here. Here's another one, United Way. I don't know if you know these things or not, children, but as you age out, you can call 211. It's a free call. You can call 24 hours a day. They never close, 7 days a week. And you can ask for counseling services, someone to talk to, social services. Ask the social services how you can get schooling, how you can get clothing, how you can get a roof over your head, how you can get off the streets, how you can get some food in your belly. Okay? They will give you referrals to the community. that will help you transition into the adult independent world. There will be free health clinics that you can go to if you get sick or something, and you can't stay on the street sick. You can't think, well, I don't have any money, so I can't go to a doctor. Well, yes, you can. You go to these health clinics that are designed for you. They're free. And everything that you do through United Way and through CASA and through the programs that I'm showing you, it's all confidential and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Please use these opportunities that are here for you to help you transition into the independent adult world. Now, there's another thing. I don't know if you children have heard. FAFSA is designed for poor children, children where a parent has been deceased and the mother or father is raising the family alone. And most especially for you foster children that have aged out. Call this number. It's called FAFSA. It's Federal Student Aid Information Center, and you can get free schooling. You might start at community college, but that's okay. It's a starting place. Get the education that you want and just apply for this. It costs you nothing but your time and filling out some papers, some forms, and you will get free money for schooling, for books, for your classes, sometimes for transportation. And so it just depends on your personal situation. Children, as you age out of the system and the state and the government close the door on you, there are still things out there to help you. And I want you to know that. I really encourage people, anybody that's listening to my stations, please, I'm about helping those underprivileged children that don't know where to go and are lost in our system. This CASA number is a place you can call, and volunteer your time. It won't take much time, 2 or 3 times a month maybe. Connect with the child, see what their home life is like, see if they're being treated well as they should be. And if they're not, then you take note of that and you bring that to the court. When at the next court hearing, you take that before the judge and be the voice for the child. Help that child to get out of that abusive situation, because many times they're just looked over. They're just passed along. And you need to be their voice. The National CASA number, please call it, get involved, help our young people, our next generation come up and be strong and independent, and know that there are people here that care for them very much and love them and want them to succeed. Just how rewarding it would be for you if you knew you could make such a difference in a child's life. So this is my episode today. I'm talking mostly to you children that are aging out, but also to adults out there that could possibly reach out and help a child or 2 or 3. It won't take much of your time, but a little bit of attention to this child, that little bit of attention will mean the world to that child, girl or boy. So this is my episode today. Children, I hope you'll use this information that I've given you. Call these numbers, especially those of you that are about ready to age out or have already aged out of the system. So even in your 17th year, a year before you age out, you could be calling these numbers and preparing yourself ahead for the day that you do leave the foster care system. Okay? So once again, I say, be the best you can be kind to all those that you come in contact with. I love you, I care about you, and I want your kids to succeed. Reach out and call these numbers. And adults, please help a child or 2. It won't take much of your time, but what a difference you will make. All right, everybody, God bless. Okay, bye-bye.